Hey, visionaries! You are now tuned in to the Starts with a Vision podcast, where everything you do in life starts with a vision. If your vision is clear or foggy, you are in the right place. It's time to go take what's yours, because there's a vision only you can see, and a dream only you can dream. And now, your host, Mr. Starts with a Vision.
Social media. That is the big talk of the town, as in we are in 2017, going in 2018, and we can't escape social media. And today's guest is going to be talking about social media campaigns and the organic side of it, right? This is Isaiah Fowler, aka Mr. SWAV, and today's guest is Alexis Davis. I think that social media is still very vague. It is still very ambiguous, and it is still a place where people just don't understand. They cannot grasp the concept of it 100%. And so that's why you have experts like Alexis and other social media experts and consultants and marketers, because they are able to work with business owners and entrepreneurs and help them grow their brand through social media. So today's guest is Alexis Davis. We're going to be talking about social media from how she sees it. And that's what I love about podcasts and, these conversations that we have. It's all about from this person's perspective, and nobody is right or wrong, because everybody is doing their thing and they have their own business individually. So listen to today's episode and see how it fits into your business and into your marketing plan, and how you can use what she has to elevate your business and make more money inside of your business. What's going on, everybody? This is Isaiah Fowler, a.k.a. Mr. SWAV in the house, man. We have another amazing guest, and we're going to be talking about a lot of social media today. We haven't talked about social media on the podcast in a while, I don't think, and so I thought it would be very, very good to bring somebody on the podcast who is doing this for clients, on a day-to-day basis. She does a lot of organic campaigns like we were talking about. So we're going to really be diving into all of that today. So how are you doing, Alexis?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I'm excited to be here and to talk about social media. I talk about social media all day long. So this is my thing.
Oh, you can talk about it all day long?
All day long, from my friends, my family, at work. This is like social media is my thing.
Do people be like, why you do they get annoyed when you be talking about it all the time?
A little bit. I feel like I'm that person in my friend group that people always come to ask questions about this new feature on Instagram, or why Facebook is doing this. And people also ask me questions about the new iPhone. So people always come to me and ask questions, but then whenever the subject switches and I still want to keep talking, they're like, Alexis, we're not talking about this right now. Like, get out of work mode.
Right.
That's just me.
Okay. So why are you so intrigued or captivated by social media as a whole?
I think I've always been interested in technology from, starting from my college years. Like Twitter and Facebook became like big things when I was in college. I mean, I was on Facebook in high school, like one of the early people that was on Facebook back when you had to be invited to be on the platform. And then whenever I was in college, that's when Twitter like really became a thing. I set up a Twitter account my freshman year, so that would have been 2009. And I just always thought it was interesting how we could get online and just talk to other people, meet people that we've never met in person, and really be able to have full conversations with them, learn from them, interact. It's like there's just so much information in one place: news stories, entertainment, business. I mean, there's just so much there. So I just love the way that we can all connect via different websites and all these different tools. And then once I graduated from college, I was able to really get into content marketing and learn how we can use these platforms to make money, and how we can use these platforms to spread the word about positive things, whatever different organizations and people were up to. So I just love, running different campaigns and trying different things with people so they can get the word out about whatever they're trying to promote.
What college did you go to?
I went to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Okay, at Chapel Hill. Is that UNC?
UNC, yeah. I always have to say it out because sometimes when I say Carolina, people are saying South Carolina, and I'm like, no, North Carolina. There's so many ways to say UNC, so usually I had to just say the whole thing, or I just say I'm a Tar Heel, and then people get it.
Yeah. See. Okay. Yeah. I would have got it.
Yeah.
What? How was the experience at UNC?
UNC was amazing. I absolutely loved going to Carolina. I feel like there was always something to do. And if there was any time where there was a little bit of downtime, we had so many other colleges nearby that we could go to. So we could go to North Carolina Central in Durham. We could go to Duke. We could go to NC State. You know, if you wanted to go up the street to Greensboro, go to NC A&T, you could do that. So, you know, I love being at Carolina. I feel like we definitely had a tight-knit family in our community. And, yeah, I mean, I honestly do miss it. I go back to homecoming every year.
Got you. And you said when you were in college is when you had got heavy on Twitter, right?
Yes, that's when Twitter basically became my baby. Like, Twitter at one point was my favorite social media platform. Now it's Instagram. But Twitter was where I was at, and I really loved it because, like I said, instant information, able to see so much. And I was involved in a lot of campus organizations when I was in school, so I was really excited to be the person to either create the social media accounts or manage the social media accounts. So it was kind of a running joke on campus for a while that I was running like all of the different campus Twitter accounts. So people would start tweeting these accounts and say like, is this you, Alexis? And then I would text them like, that one is me or that one's not me. So, I mean, at one point I had so many Twitter accounts, like it was a little overwhelming at some points. But yeah, Twitter is definitely, I love it. Now
let me ask you this, because me personally, I don't really use Twitter. To this day, I remember I had got on it. And back, I think it was like 2011-ish, 2012-ish. And I was never like a big fan of it. I liked Instagram a lot more at the time than Facebook. But, you know, currently, how do you feel about Twitter now?
I still love Twitter, but I think Instagram is my favorite now because I am definitely a visual learner. I like to see things. I like to see pictures and videos. And I think Twitter is still fun for me. I like to get on Twitter to see breaking news and to, you know, be entertained and just like have all of that in one place. But Twitter definitely has had a lot of problems with growth. They haven't really been growing that well. And then there's just been a lot of spam and a lot of hate on Twitter. I wish that they would do a better job at cleaning all of that up, which they're starting to do it, but I think it just took them a little too long, especially in the last 1 to 2 years. There's just been a lot of really nasty conversations happening on the platform. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they get better at cleaning all of that up.
Right. Do you think Twitter is like, is it dying, or are they able to resuscitate themselves? Or do you think it's kind of like almost like game over, it's time to go to the graveyard for Twitter?
I think Twitter is just like in a constant state right now. I really don't think Twitter is going anywhere. I just think they need to figure out different ways to improve.
Right.
You know, people are always suggesting different things that all of our platforms can do and all of our technology, like the iPhone. And sometimes we get frustrated when they introduce other features and we're just like, Twitter, like we actually don't need this. We need this other new feature. And so they're starting to listen. I feel like, you know, they're moving kind of slow, and hopefully they'll pick it up. But I definitely don't think Twitter is going anywhere anytime soon.
That's interesting. So do you think entrepreneurs and or business professionals and businesses still need to use Twitter and, you know, for marketing or awareness, or what? What do you think Twitter's state is for, you know, business?
I definitely think entrepreneurs should use the social media platforms that most relate to their business. So I always tell people that you don't necessarily need to be on every single social media platform because it's simply unnecessary. It really depends on where your target audience is. Because people will come to me, they'll say, I want Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Google+, YouTube. And I'm always quick to tell them, hey, like, you know, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. You want to really focus on the platform that's going to give you the best results. So I definitely think that Twitter is relevant for entrepreneurs, but it really just depends on where your audience is. If you have a stronger audience on Instagram, for example, let's say you've already started your social media accounts, you have 5,000 followers on Instagram, you have 200 likes to your Facebook page, you only have 100 likes or 100 followers on Twitter, then you should really just focus on Instagram. I mean, continue to build up those other platforms, but Instagram is obviously where people are paying the most attention to you.
Mm-hmm. And that's your bread and butter. So put all your attention there.
Right.
Okay. So you're in college, and you're in love with Twitter. You said Twitter was your bae, right?
Twitter, yes, I love Twitter. I was on Twitter all day, every day.
Okay.
Because I knew I loved Twitter instantly because I was that person back in the day that would update my Facebook status multiple times a day. Like I treated my Facebook status like a Twitter.
Uh-huh.
So then once Twitter became a thing, I didn't have to do that anymore, and I was able to tweet all day, literally all day long.
Got you. And speaking of Twitter, actually, I had read an article probably about 2-3 weeks ago. You remember Pretty Ricky, right?
Yes.
Everybody remembers Pretty Ricky.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So I think it was, I forget which of the guys, but we don't know about Pretty Ricky anymore, right? Like, they're not singing, they're not making any records. But one of the guys who was part of the group, he left the group and he started a social media company, agency, whatever. And he was like selling ads on Twitter, and he like scaled it up to like $100K a month or something like that.
Right. I actually did read about that because Pretty Ricky was on the Breakfast Club last month,
really?
Ironically. Or watching, yeah, because I think they're getting ready to be on Love and Hip Hop Miami or something along those lines. But they were on the Breakfast Club, and Spectacular was talking about his company. And I thought that was pretty interesting because I heard a while back that he did start this company, and then when he brought it back up, I did look into it a little bit, and I thought it was pretty interesting, like how he like manages and monetizes social media accounts. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and when he was talking, I was like, I did not know that you can it was some way he was making money on Twitter, and I'm like, I didn't know that people was killing on Twitter, but that was also back in the day when Twitter had everyone's attention. Like everybody was talking about tweet like 18 tweets a day type stuff, like whole conversations with 160 characters. It was just crazy. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's really doing it big out there. I know he's had a lot of success with Facebook as well. So I definitely need to dig in and read a little bit more about his company because it was just amazing and a prime example of how, you come with a good idea, you get a few people to back you, you know how to, spread the word on social media. And then you have a company that is teaching people how to use social media or make money on social media. Right. There's just so many different things you can do these days.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, I just really wanted to mention that because that popped in my mind and Twitter. But after Twitter, you were using it, and let's just say it died down a little bit. Did you spend more time on Facebook and or was it Instagram? Like which one was more time? Because I really wanted to talk about each platform specifically.
I definitely spent more time on Instagram. I feel like Facebook was big. Facebook was definitely big in college when it came to uploading photos. So I remember my freshman year, I had a little camera, and for every, semester, I would just dump all of my pictures into a Facebook album and add in little quotes and things. I feel like Facebook albums were like my pre-Instagram because I would always have funny captions on my pictures, or I really had like funny captions for the albums, and that, eventually transferred to Instagram. But I feel like I spent a lot of time in Facebook groups, really trying to network with people, or definitely have groups of people where we were all interested in the same topic on campus. We were in the same club, things of that nature. But I feel like Instagram really took off. And I actually kicked myself a lot for not being as attentive and not being as aggressive on Instagram in the beginning. Because just think about how many followers, what we could be doing on Instagram if we would have really just been on top of it in the beginning. What if my Instagram name was Alexis? Even just having your name as your Instagram handle just kind of speaks a little bit to your, to your value. So I kick myself all the time, but I did, have the Instagram account, and from the pretty early stages, but I really wish I would have done more with it from the beginning.
Right. And I feel you, because it's kind of like the web, right? Like you had the internet, and then you had the World Wide Web. I mean, you had the internet, and then you had social media. And those are they're like brother and sister, but they're not the same.
Right.
And so it's funny because you're saying that as if, you're like, I should have bought my domain name. Right. So it's literally like almost the same thing, but just in social media. And so, what do you think, in your opinion, is the best way someone currently who is an entrepreneur or who has a business, right? Let's say it's a brick and mortar business, whatever, can cash in and, capitalize on their Instagram right now?
So when it comes to Instagram, I definitely think having a strong and ongoing presence is important. So creating your Instagram account, optimizing it, making sure that it's linked to a Facebook page, making sure that it's a public page. For when I always get upset when businesses follow me or they want my help and their page is private. I'm like, that's number one. Make your page public, because people don't want to dig for information. We're lazy. We want to see it right there. Mm-hmm. So make your business page public. Make sure you have a clear Instagram picture. Make sure that you have attached your Instagram page to your Facebook page, that you have a business account. So that way people can easily get directions, send you an email, give you a phone call, all of that. Fill out your bio. Make sure you have information regarding your hours or anything you really want people to know about. And then use really clear pictures and things that really, talk to or speak to what your business is about and what you're trying to promote. There's so many times I'll come across business pages that will have, a mix of content. I've talked to business owners that, use their Instagram profile for business and for personal. So there may be, a few pictures there of their food, if they're a chef, for example. And the next picture is a picture of their family. And that's good and all, but people will get confused. They want to just see pictures of the food, for example. So try to make sure that you're splitting your account so that you have a personal account and a business account. And another thing I think is really important is using hashtags. People forget about using hashtags in their posts, but it's important to use hashtags that are relevant and hashtags that are actually going to get you some good comments and actually get people looking at your Instagram page. Because a lot of people actually don't know that there is a list of banned hashtags out there. So you want to make sure that you're not using banned hashtags that Instagram will automatically flag, because then your content won't even show up on that hashtag and you're wasting space. You only get 30 Instagram hashtags per post. So you don't want to use a hashtag that's irrelevant, because you could have used something else there that would have got you more followers and more engagement. And I mean, I could just go on and on. I feel like there's just so many different ways you can really optimize your Instagram profile, making sure, like I said, your pictures are clear, your videos are clear, making sure that every post you put on your Instagram page is really relevant and that it really speaks to your business and it's not just something that you just threw together. I think really good planning ahead, that really will impact your business and it will show on Instagram.
Right. And earlier you talked about, campaigns. So what's like an example of a campaign that you ran for a client, maybe, whether it be on Instagram or Facebook or whatever?
So earlier in the year, I worked with an agency here in Austin, and one of their clients is blackpeoplemeet.com. And so I was able to help them with a campaign in January. Blackpeoplemeet.com. So I was able to help them with a campaign they had, and it was around the phrase, the hashtag, your fans are waiting. And so basically a lot of Black women were feeling that Black men, were no longer attracted to them and that they weren't really getting the love that they deserved in person and online and on the site. And so the campaign was really surrounding, showing how, Black men still love Black women and they are still pursuing Black women. So I was able to create this campaign with the agency. They did a full television commercial, series. And so then I was able to take those videos and put them on Facebook, put them on Twitter. I don't believe you really did much on Instagram. It was just Facebook and Twitter. and really, create these different images and, start discussions around why Black men still love Black women. And overall, I remember it was a short campaign. It was just like the beginning of the year, like in the first quarter. But, really seeing how, Black women were responding on social media and saying, I definitely do think, that Black men are still interested in us. There were definitely a lot of conversations that happened around the campaign. And that's really what people want. If people don't necessarily agree with your mission or your campaign or whatever you're promoting, at least having them express that and express why they think that way. And then, having a candid conversation, going back and forth, and then hopefully eventually, changing their mind, changing their perspective. And so that was really the goal of the campaign. And I remember just being so happy when it launched, because today that was one of the biggest campaigns that I was able to do outside of my day job.
Right. And you said, like you guys created a discussion, around this. So how do you create a movement or a discussion, through a campaign on social media? Because it's not 100% easy to create a whole movement, and you're on social media because those people don't really know you, right? So how do you craft that? How do you do that? How do you make that happen?
A lot of times when I'm speaking with people and they're trying to create a movement, I always tell them that they need to reach out to their tribe and reach out to their network and get them to help. A lot of times I'll have friends who are getting ready to promote something. I have a friend who actually just announced that he's releasing a book, but he told all of us that we went to school with, he told, his entire network before he made the announcement on social media, so that whenever he made the announcement on social media, we were there to, basically hype him up, like his post, comment on it, and really get excited for him. So a lot of times, whenever you have a business or a brand or something you're getting ready to launch, if you let your networks know ahead of time, then they will be your loudest supporters. They will cheer for you. As you know, with social media, with algorithms these days, except for Twitter, pretty much for Facebook and Instagram, Facebook and Instagram is going to show content that is really getting a lot of engagement. You don't really see, posts that come up on your timeline much anymore that don't really have any likes or comments. So if you can post something and then you get your networks to like and comment quickly, then it'll show up in more people's feeds. It'll be like the first post there, the second post. And so continuing to do that and to get your networks really excited for you is a really good way to start, just to really start getting your brand out there. It really also starts with asking your networks to repost things for you, whether that's in your Instagram story, on, an Instagram page, on their Facebook page. Just getting the word out about what you're trying to do in an organic way will really, that will really do a lot from the beginning.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that, because I think that's a fine line too, though, because I don't want anybody to think that, you depend on your friends. Right? Don't be asking for support. But what she's saying is the people you're close with, just let them know. Give them a heads up, so when you do post it, they can repost, and the algorithm will pick it up, and then it'll get shown to more people, and you maximize it that way.
Right, definitely. A lot of people I know, especially people who take Instagram really seriously, they are not the type that will want to post every single thing that comes up, because it may mess up the flow of their Instagram, or they don't want their Instagram to come off as a total promotion zone. And I definitely understand that. But even just letting people know, what you have going on, so they can throw a like your way, they can throw a comment your way. That goes a long way. And even just telling one person on social media in person, and then getting one person to purchase a book or to go to your website, just, having one more fan will definitely, help out your friends and help out your brand as well.
Absolutely. And I think it's one of the most powerful things when a complete stranger, goes and purchases something off of you making a post and going to,
right,
and posting your link, and them actually going and doing it. I think that's one of the most powerful things, and it's like an eye opener, because I know when I announced my tour, I said I was coming to Dallas and Charlotte and stuff. Somebody DM'd me and they asked where was the link to register. Sent it to them. Wasn't expecting them to go get it because people they just be talking. And like 10 minutes later, I got a Stripe payment. I'm like, I don't know this dude from a can of paint, but he just purchased. I'm like, yo, this social media stuff, it really is. It's a game changer.
Yes, it is amazing. I love meeting people on social media. I feel like in the beginning with Instagram, I was really just using it to, take selfies and when I go on trips and things like that. But, as we've gotten older, we're really, diving in our craft. I feel like I use Instagram a lot more as a networking tool. I have people reaching out to me, just trying to get information about how to talk to me about social media, how to hire me for different projects. And it just excites me to know that, I have a presence on social media, just like so many other people. And like social media can actually be used for something positive and not just for selfies, but you can still throw a selfie in there every so often to show that you're a real person. But at the same time, it definitely has a lot of business value.
Yeah. No, people are really building businesses and brands on social media. Like, people are really building brands. People are really making money on social media.
People are quitting their jobs to do things on social media. People start a YouTube channel, and the next thing you know, that is their full-time job. They are making money off YouTube, making money off Instagram ads. It is real. It is real out here.
Yeah, big time. And I think that is crazy because I know one thing that they do on Instagram is, and this was really popular, and it's kind of like dying down now, but like because the algorithm had changed. But I know for a fact that this, some people who had big followings, maybe like 100K or more, something like that. What they would do is they would, say, hey, if you want to post on my page for 12 hours, it's like $500 or something like that, right?
Right.
And
people, people are really selling space on their social media platforms.
Yes.
I see it a lot on Reddit too.
Oh,
I love Reddit.
Really?
Yes, people will be on the Reddit social media subreddit, and they'll say, hey, if anyone wants to post on my page or a shout out, like this is how much it is. Like it's people are really out here hustling Instagram shout outs. Right.
So how do you feel about Reddit? Because I heard about it. I used to read some of the forums a little bit, but I've never been like a huge fan of Reddit. But how do you feel about it?
I love Reddit. I feel like there's so much information there. And it's really cool because a lot of things that we see on social media that trend on Instagram, on Twitter, a lot of it comes from Reddit and Tumblr. So, Reddit, they call themselves the front page of the internet. And I can definitely see that because there's so much funny content, so much information. I stay in the social media Reddit all the time, just trying to see like what's trending, what people are talking about, what new tools are out there. I mean, there's so much information on the internet, and sometimes it's hard to really try to figure out what's real, what's not, what is relevant. And I feel like Reddit kind of is a good place that kind of has all of that. And I like Reddit too because it's such a simple platform. There's not a whole lot of bells and whistles like Facebook, like Instagram. It's just straight to the point. It's a forum, and it's easy for you to get your information.
Yeah, like it looks dry, low key.
Right.
Like if you go to the website, it looks like a newspaper, like dull.
It is so plain. And I'm the type of person that I'm always kind of like, why don't you pretty it up and make your platform look nicer? But I think Reddit, they like it simple.
Right.
They don't want to make it too complicated because they know like their hardcore Redditors will leave and they want these people to just stay with it. It's one of those things where it's like, it's not broke, don't try to fix it.
Yeah, and that's their brand.
Right.
At the end of the day, that's their brand. That's what people grown to love, and they're not going to change it.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting right there. Well, where can people find out more about you and check you out? Check out your work, follow you, all that good stuff.
All right. So my website is thecontentplug.co.
Hey,
so just .co, not
like
.com.
That's smooth.
It's the name of my company, name of my brand, The Content Plug. And right now you can reach out to me via Instagram. My Instagram name is YeahItsLex, which is YeahItsLex. Yeah, it's Lex. And, I'm really quick to respond to messages there. You can also send me a message via my website. And basically, my website really highlights all the different services that I provide with social media. So I can do anything from, teaching a workshop or, speaking at an event. I do one-on-one trainings. I also can, just create a social media strategy for you and send it over and have you really take it over. Or I can also create content for you, whether it's writing blogs or managing your social media platforms. I do a little bit of everything. So it's all on my site, which is thecontentplug.co. So check me out and, let me know if I can help you.
Cool. Well, that sounds good, and that's going to be on the show notes on the website, of course. So, with that being said, that's going to be today's episode. That's going to be today's show. So, I really hope and I know and I have confidence that you guys got some type of insight for you, for your business, for where you're headed inside of your business or your life. So, take this information, use it, apply it to your life, and don't stop. Continue to go, and everything is going to be A-okay. So do you have any parting words, Mrs. Alexis?
No parting words. Just, I say no, and then I'm going to say something. Right. I always do that. That's my go-to thing. But just keep trying with social media. Social media is a little difficult, but, it will definitely help to keep trying. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. Mm-hmm. Keep, experimenting on the different platforms and, figure out what really works for you, which platforms are going to be successful for your brand, and just make sure that, you are reaching out to your tribe and reaching out to your network and getting them to help you really promote and get the word out. Because if your friends support you, you have something good there. So just make sure that you're using all of your resources that are available.
All of them. That's a gold nugget. Don't think that somebody's not gonna support you. Don't think somebody's not going. Don't do that. Let them tell you no, but don't tell yourself no.
Right.
So
your friends will definitely let you know if something is not right. My friends tell me all the time. They're like, maybe take that back to the drawing board. So right. Definitely ask your friends for help, ask for advice. Your friends have your back, and then go out there and try it. But don't let a failure, really keep you from what you really want to do. Just go back to the drawing board and keep trying. And social media is constantly evolving. Something that is not working this week may work next month, may work in January as the platform changes. Just keep on keeping on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for your time and thank you for your energy and everything else. So with that being said, guys, that's today's episode. We're going to holler at you later.
Thanks for listening to the Starts With a Vision podcast. Come get your vision clear at www.startswithavision.com. See you there.